JEUDY stood several yards away from an NFL Network set in Kansas City before the Denver Broncos' Week 6 game against the Chiefs last October. At the desk that day was former NFL wide receiver Steve Smith Sr., who was on air for the pregame show. The five-time Pro Bowler had criticized JEUDY's play before the season on his podcast, referring to him as a jag, short for just a guy, a term used to refer to an average player. Having heard Smith's criticism that summer, JEUDY, pacing back and forth on the field behind, yelled in Smith's direction multiple times, which led Smith to double down on his assessment of JEUDY on air. "I'm sorry that I said you were a jag. Just a guy who's an average wide receiver. They used a first-round pick on that isn't doing anything," Smith said. "I hope today that you actually show up in a way that you haven't showed up in the last couple years since they drafted you. I'm sorry for saying that you're an average wide receiver that they will eventually move on from." JEUDY finished the season with the second fewest receiving yards in his career, 758, and the Broncos traded him, as Smith speculated they would, to the Cleveland Browns for 2 picks, 2020 for 5th and 6th rounders, in March after JEUDY asked out of Denver. In his 5th season, JEUDY is still working to be more than just a guy and live up to the potential that made him the number 15 pick in the 2020 draft. He was a blue-chip recruit in South Florida when he signed for Alabama, where he won the 2018 Biletnikoff Award playing alongside 3 other future first-round receivers, Devonta Smith, Jalen Waddle and Henry Ruggs, with the Crimson Tide. But in the NFL, JEUDY has struggled. He's watched other 2020 draftees Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Ayuk, all of whom were drafted after him, in the first round, amass 1,000-yard seasons and sign lucrative extensions. Over the past month, however, the 25-year-old has been one of the league's most productive receivers, putting him on the verge of his first 1,000-yard receiving season. He ranks 4th in receiving yards per game, 94.8, since Week 8 and has established himself as the Browns' best receiver, after they traded Amari Cooper in mid-October. On Monday night, he returns to Denver to face the Broncos, 8:15 p.m. at ESPN, the team that traded him away for the first time. "I didn't really circle the game in my mind," JEUDY told ESPN 2 weeks ago. "I'm taking each game day by day, week by week. But of course that's my past team, so you want to be able to ball against them. That's every competitor for real."